Very pleasant good morning to you. Welcome into the 615 Prep Scoreboard presented by AccuWorks Week 9 edition. Kind of a shorter slate with some teams still on fall break, but plenty of highlights and scores to get through. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it seemed like Joe needs some coffee.
I hate mornings.
All right, Garfield.
It was a great night, but I want to lead with this. Chris, how's it feel? You're one win away, man.
You know, that couldn't have worked out more perfect. I'm sitting at halftime at Grace Christian watching the end of the game, and it ended right before halftime wrapped up. So, you know.
Yeah. Joe and I made an executive decision last night. If the unthinkable happens, you may get a Friday off.
We'll see. We'll see. The last two Fridays I've been able to multitask, so we can certainly talk about it. But not going to waste a ton of time. Let's get right into highlights. Cam, you made the trip out to Nolensville for the first time, and we could see Centennial play the Knights in a key region game.
Yeah, getting things started late in the first quarter. It's Tristan Lefmexi, I think is how you pronounce the last name. Carries a couple Centennial defenders in, 7-0 Nolensville. Centennial would answer with this great catch by Gavin Johnson, pass from Mitchell Grandjean. Later on in the second quarter, that is Ryan Newell in for the touchdown. 13-7 after a missed extra point. Missed a couple touchdowns in between this, but that's a touchdown by Centennial to make it 26-14 at that moment. Driving late, under 3 minutes to go, and Centennial's last-ditch effort is intercepted, and that will be all of it. And this is, you'd love to see that as a football fan. You know, could try to outrun the quarterback for a pick six, but now just decide to run him over. It was a good football game. I think if you're a Centennial player this morning, you're waking up with some regrets to a certain extent. I think they made I know Mitchell Grandjean had 2 interceptions. One of them was returned for a pick six in the first half. That was one of the touchdowns that I missed, pulling double duty. And then another Tristan Lefmexi touchdown run to start the fourth quarter was the 2 scores that I did not pick up on the highlight film. But several drops last night for Centennial on offense, and same thing for Nolensville. Nolensville tried to hit the hook and ladder like 3 times and dropped it every time. And it was there all night. But what really opened the game for Nolensville was a double pass. Oliver Bender found, I can't think of his name right now, number 8 for Nolensville, but set them up inside the 20 for that first touchdown. And after that, Nolensville's offense seemed to find their rhythm and find their gear a little bit. Was able to run the ball pretty effectively. But, it was a good night for Nolensville. Nolensville secures a home playoff game with this win and sets up what we thought would happen earlier in the season, and that's Nolensville Page in Week 11 for the region championship.
Yeah, been a kind of a tough week for Centennial. Obviously, some news about their coaching situation. Taylor Burks, the interim coach for the Cougars this week. They'll fall to 2-5, 0-2 in region play with that loss. They must beat Hillsboro in order to secure a playoff spot. They've not gotten one just yet.
Yeah, but as Cam said, a good night for Tristan. We'll leave it there. No, it's Lefmexi. I've heard 2 different ways. 2 touchdown runs and a pick six. So a good night for him. But you wonder if Centennials, aside from the fact that Nolensville is just a very, very good team, if the distractions this week had anything to do with some of the mistakes. But you take nothing away from the Knights. They are a solid team.
Clay County gets a 60-8 win over Bowling Springs in that Region 4 1A game. Bulldogs look like they're in great shape in that region.
Yep. Just Red Bowling Springs, just numbers are getting them. They fought this for a couple of years. It's just that they're just a program that's struggling right now.
Yeah, and a program when Joe don't know much about this because he's not been around small ball much, but you go through waves of talent, and you go through waves of having the ability to do multiple things. And unfortunately, right now, Red
Yep.
really have it.
Davidson Academy goes on the road and beats Portland 21-6. I think the bigger story in this one, though, a key injury for the Panthers.
Yeah, Avery Hughes goes down. He's down for several minutes. Haven't heard an update on his status. Hope he's okay. That's a massive loss for Portland. No, Keelan Dalton got hurt earlier in the year. I don't know if he's back or not, but losing Avery's huge. But got to give credit to the Bears. They traveled up to Portland. A lot of us picked against them, and they took care of business.
Yeah, their defense shut down Portland's scoring attack. They sacked Portland 3 times, held them to 187 total yards. 2 of the sacks were courtesy of their defensive end, Henry Smith. Mason Pratt with a monster night. He was 7 receptions for 159 yards receiving and added 2 interceptions of the Panthers. Rich Holman, a good night, 17 of 26 for 212 and a touchdown. Ronald Moore also had a couple of scores in that win for the Bears.
Big win for Eagleville at Huntland. They win 44-7, and they take over first place in the region.
Massive result for the Eagles. I mean, I know Huntland had some good results earlier in the year, and Eagleville kind of an up and down team. But I mean, I picked Eagleville to win this. I didn't think they win it like this, though.
Yeah, that region's kind of gave us fits for a couple of years now. Everybody kind of beats everybody, and really, really hard region to get a read on.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Eagleville and Fayetteville for that championship in Week 11.
Benton Fox, a really good night for the Eagles. 8 of 10 for 159 and 3 touchdowns. Had 2 rushing touchdowns. Excuse me. And Jonathan Jordan of the team in rushing, 18 carries, 136 yards, added 4 tackles.
No problems for East Nashville. They win at Hickman County 41-3, undefeated in the region play, and now they have sights on bigger things.
Yeah, we kind of tried to alert everybody after the 0-4 start. They're going to continue to rack them off here up until that Week 11 matchup.
Yeah, they turned Hickman County over 5 times, stymied 2 fake punts. This wasn't much of a game. It was 34-3 at the half. I know that Dallas Covington threw a 40-yard touchdown pass to Juwan Taylor and to Kenny Fuller for 40 yards. He also had a 33-yard rush for touchdown.
Fairview on the road takes down Camden 42-36, and the Yellow Jackets now have their sights on a potential region title. They've got Cheatham County and Waverly left in their regular season schedule.
Yeah, they've bounced back from that Sycamore loss really well. Driving out to Camden, that's not an easy trip. And that Waverly game looms very, very large Week 11.
Yeah, massive win for the Yellow Jackets. Jax McCoy, 11-15, 184. Julius Carter, 9 rushes, 125, and 2 touchdowns. Also added 7 tackles on defense. Kentrell Harrison, a couple of scores, and Will Frank on defense, 14 tackles, a tackle for loss, a sack, and a fumble recovery.
Brentwood stays unbeaten in region play. They win over Franklin 21-14.
Yeah, this game that Franklin actually led for a little bit, and then Brentwood got it going. Weird game. Just kind of said the old school rivalry game, right? And Brentwood found a way to pull it out. But Franklin, one of their better results in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Ryder Gregg had a really good night. They actually moved the ball pretty well through the air. 23 of 30 passing for 186. 2 touchdowns. But, we talked that Jones Merrill would play a factor in this game. 7 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Gavin Strang, 175 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Brentwood comes away, but, this game was a little tighter on the Brentwood side and a little more offense on the Franklin side than some of us thought.
Brentwood still 4-0 region play. They've got Ravenwood in a couple weeks for the region title. Franklin, unfortunately, will not see postseason play this year. They fall to 0-5 in region play, and they are eliminated from playoff contention with that loss. Friendship Christian 7-1 after a 31-10 win over Franklin Christian.
This game was close for a little while, and then Friendship Christian eventually pulls away. Jaden McGowan had a great night. Blake Waldorf
Yeah.
did his thing, and Friendship Christian just keeps rolling.
Yeah, they were 6 or 7 on third downs, but they lost the turnover battle 3-0. They had 11 penalties. Not the best showing for Friendship Christian, but as you said, McGowan 137 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Waldorf threw for a touchdown, ran for another. For Franklin Christian, Jace Toms 289 yards passing against this Friendship Christian defense.
Beach is rolling right now. Winners of 6 straight to go to 6-1, 62-29 over Gallatin. The Beach offense that has now put up 42 points or more in each of the last 4 games.
Wow.
I'm not sure if there's many 5A schools that can slow down DK Williams and Caden Powell at the moment.
And Shelton Swafford in a couple weeks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
Midway through the third, this was a 34-29 game. And then Beach rolled off 28 straight to ice it. DK Williams, 13 carries, 187, 5 touchdowns for DK Williams. Oh, and he added 8 tackles. I believe Caden Powell, just 8. Yeah, well, he had to rest every once in a while.
He is averaging like 12 tackles a game. That's the reason why I said 8.
That's what I was given. Caden Powell, 238 yards rushing. Was something else I was supplied. So big offensive night for Beach, but Gallatin kept this close for quite a bit.
Yeah, Bucks now 6-1, Gallatin now 5-2 with that loss, and we're gonna go and get some more highlights from the game that I was at. For my first time out at Leapers Fork to get Grace Christian and Good Pasture, and early on we get an interception here for Grace Christian. That puts the Lions in good position. They're going to wind up with as Jacob Gillies with that pick also. Knox Lambert on the receiver screen. It's Gabe Shepler. It's a 31-yard touchdown, and Grace Christian, a great crowd out there too. Up 7-0, less than 4 minutes in. Unfortunately, it started turning Good Pastures way quickly. In the second quarter, Caden Stroud caps off a long drive with a 1-yard touchdown that ties the game at 7. And then the defense is going to get involved. It's Ian Crockett that picks off the pass over the middle, puts Good Pasture in great position. However, Grace Christian's defense did hold them out of the end zone. It was 7-7 at the half. 9-minute drive for Good Pasture to start the third quarter. Caden Stroud caps it off with that 1-yard touchdown to give Good Pasture a 14-7 lead. On to the fourth, trying to put it away. Dylan Sandlin's going to make a 23-yard field goal here that puts the Cougars up 17-7 with 4:32 to go. Good Pasture just dominating time of possession at this one. Lions in desperation mode here. Lambert's going to get sacked by Luke McElhaney. Same drive. He's going to roll out to the right. More pressure from the Good Pasture defense. Throws it to the right side. Andrew Perry's going to get the pick. That's going to seal this one. They couldn't run the clock all the way out, and it looks like Stroud's going to have the hat trick, right? Nope. Ball comes out, but Chase Angel's Johnny on the spot. He's got the recovery, and he's got the touchdown. And it's Good Pasture getting a big region win. They win it 24-7 over the Lions.
Yeah, great result for the Cougars. Grace Christian, they had a couple close calls over the last few weeks. They'd come out on top. This time, Good Pasture's a team that can dominate time of possession if you give him the chance. I mean, Caden Stroud, he can be a home run hitter, but he's more that ground and pound type of guy. He did that last night, it looked like, and Good Pasture's a really good football team. This was a harder game for me to pick earlier in the week. You can ask Scott. I think I actually told him to change my pick to Good Pasture and then flip back to GCA. Really
why you asked my advice? I have no idea.
I know. Really went back. But that's an impressive win for Good Pasture. Puts them in the driver's seat to finish third in this region, given what's ahead. So that's not a bad spot to be in.
And that's also a home playoff game for the Cougars if they can maintain that spot too.
Yeah. Well, Caden Stroud did have a big game, 29 carries, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. This Good Pasture team is from where they were, last year. Excuse me. From where they were last year, thank you. To that amazing strides they've made this year. Yeah. Both teams actually, but Good Pasture for sure.
And the thing about Stroud's night is he really did those numbers without the benefit of a long play. Though a lot of that was 5-6 yard runs up the middle. They really went right at the heart of the Grace Christian defense to get that done.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
That's exactly what it was.
Everything that I had a chance to see Good Pasture earlier this year against JP2, and it's exactly what you just said, Chris. And they're content with handing it off to Caden Stroud for 4 yards.
Yeah,
because it sets up everything else that they want to do. So, and he's going to get 3 or 4 yards most of the time.
Yeah, and a largely clean game too from the penalty department too. I think there were maybe like 2 or 3 flags all night. It was just one of those games that we rarely see at the high school level. So, hats off to both teams for that. Also, shout out to the Grace Christian folks over there. It was a great atmosphere last night, and enjoyed the time over there for sure.
Looked like it.
Yeah, it's actually, I think they said it was the most people they've ever had on campus for any event.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Unfortunately, Good Pasture gets away with that win and spoils their homecoming and their perfect start, but still a great year for Grace Christian regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's talk real quickly about AccuWorks, proud sponsor of this show and 615 Preps Live. AccuWorks is a full-service property damage restoration company that offers around-the-clock emergency service 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the past 20 years in Middle Tennessee. Jeff Stockton and his team of industry veterans specialize in restoration projects for your home or business, fire restoration, smoke cleaning, water damage, and mold remediation, storm damage restoration, general contracting, and much more. Our commitment is to assess each situation quickly and correctly to provide you the most efficient and complete restoration plan that meets your specific needs. AccuWorks performs emergency service and restoration for property owners across Middle Tennessee. With locations in Nashville and near you, our professional staff are minutes away from helping with your property damage emergency. Quality work, professionalism, and integrity have been the backbone of our company since 2006. Call us now at 615-292-2009 or toll free at 888-779-2228 or visit our website at AccuWorks.com. Joe, your turn with the highlights over at Page with Independence making a visit.
Yeah, and Page comes out, and everybody knows about this high-scoring offense and everything that they've done this year. Well, it's actually Independence that's going to get on strike here first. Blaze Katina tips it up to himself, ending Page's opening drive, and then the Eagles will just march down the field, taking a ton of time off the clock. Hunter Mullen will punch it in here, and Independence leads 7-0. And the Eagles, kind of like what Good Pasture did in the last game, dominating time of possession. Page ties it up here. Sean Cunningham recovers the block punt and ties it up. But Independence will get back right on top. Eli Garlington late in the second quarter. And it's 14-7. But then this is where the game turned, guys. James Pierre, third and forever, takes a little screen pass, dodges about 1 million people, and then he's gone. Just an incredible individual play by him to get in the end zone. We're tied up at 14. That kind of set the tone for what's going to happen for the rest of the game. Independence goes for it on 4th and short, deep in their own territory. Page turns them away. That's looking like the Page defense of last year. Couple plays later, Isaac Odie. He'll punch it in himself, and Page has its first lead of the game, 21-14, and they just kind of roll from here at this point. You got Cameron Cruzy over the middle to Drew Rimple. Let him do the rest. Remember, this was a quarterback battle in the offseason, but they've become a really good pass-catching duo. And to close it out, Page, Cruzy, he'll find Kane Knockerman here in the corner one-on-one. You cannot defend him one-on-one in the red zone. He's too big. He's too strong. Closes it out here, and Page scores 27 straight points after being down 14-7 to beat Indy 34-14. They cap it off here with an interception, and thought he took it to the house. He got stopped short, but, that was enough. Page will run out the clock after this, and they're unbeaten. They just keep on rolling.
Yeah, definitely a tale of two halves in this game.
For sure.
Page, Independence, as Joe said, they just grounded out in short passes and ate up clock that first half. Page couldn't keep anything going in the first half, but the touchdown that tied it up, and then the ensuing fourth down stop in their own territory, that was huge. because it not only it gave Page the opportunity to go up for the first time in the game, and after that there was no looking back.
Yeah, this page team, after I think it was the first 2 weeks, they gave up a ton of points, and then pretty much since then they've settled it in, dialed it in on the defense side of the ball, and it starts up front. We thought that their strongest area on defense coming back was the secondary with Ackerman and Knight Wilson and a couple of those other guys. That's proven to be true, but up front they've gotten so much better. They went to the number 1 spot this week, right, on the TSWA top 10. So, and rightfully so. I mean, they're playing like the best team in 5A football.
We've seen this with Independence a couple of times this year, where in the first half that they just basically are the better team of the first half, but for some reason in the second half they just run out of gas.
Yeah.
And it happened last night.
They whipped Page up front in the first half. I mean, it was it was kind of impressive to watch. I think Indy is a really, really good team. I think next year we're going to talk a lot about the Eagles. They're pretty young for the most part.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and Joe, you said it last night. This may be that kind of adversity that Page really kind of needed at this point of the season, because they needed to believe that they could be down and be able to come back and to be challenged. And I think that they got that, but take nothing away from Scott Blade's team. That team is far and away ahead of where many thought they would be at this time of the season.
Yep. Page with that win 7-0, Independence now 3-4 after it's a non-region affair between those two. BGA, no trouble with JP2, 56-14 Wildcats.
Yeah, huge first half from the freshman Max Curry, 4 touchdowns. I think he had 3 receiving, 1 on special teams, and he's actually started picking up big time Power 4 offers over the last couple of weeks, and that's going to continue. He's a tremendous talent, and Caden Marable just continues to do Caden Marable things. Yeah,
pretty doggone efficient. 13 of 14 passing for 273 and 4 touchdowns. I had 2 carries for 23 and another touchdown. Maddox Porter has 6 catches, 124 yards, and I've got him with 3 scores. But we'll have to make sure that we get those receivers.
I may have had that backwards.
But
they have a Max and a Maddox, I believe so.
Yeah, I've got Maddox Porter. Yeah, I got Maddox Porter with 6 for 124 and 3. I got Max Curry 6 for 113 and a touchdown.
Stewart's Creek gets a big win over Knoxville Webb, 49-26. Redhawks back to 500 with a win.
Yeah, this was a weird game to pick. I just didn't know much about Knox Webb. Just kind of thought they'd be better than what their record was. Apparently not. So
Well, they have 1 week where they play a tough opponent, and this is the stuff. I'm going to let you a little bit on the insight of what goes into picking a game, especially that features a team outside of our area. We look at their scores, and they have a bunch of games against good opponents where they lose 50-40. I think was one of the games, and then they play, a team that they probably are more talented than. Not necessarily in this game, but they lose a close game. So it's hard to get a read on a team like Knox Webb, and they have a talent like Shavar Young and, all of the other things going. It's real easy to pick Knox Webb in this game. Thankfully, I didn't. But, way to go, Stewart's Creek.
Yeah. Well, huge night for Sam Bello for Stewart's Creek. Rushed 14 times for 167 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jaden McKnight at quarterback, he rushed 29 times for 209 yards and 2. So Stewart's Creek ground and pound and big plays on the offensive side. And Jonathan Hadley had 6 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery for the Redhawks.
Oh, our spotlight game was over at Green Hill last night, and it turned out to be a good one. But Green Hill gets a win 22-15 over Lebanon.
Yeah, Gian, he scored twice. Lebanon did what they did to do, but Green Hill, Cannon Burrows with about 40 seconds left, scoring the game winner. And the Hawks clinched the region with this win, boys. I mean, it was about what we thought this game would be.
Yeah, it was a tough battle, and pretty much like a 1-point game, or I mean late. But Green Hill takes the score with takes the lead with 32 seconds left on Cannon Burrows' run. Yeah, he didn't have a huge rushing night, but he did have the 2 scores, 74 yards. But Azita, 219 yards and 2 scores. Lebanon's a very, very good team, but so is Green Hill.
Yeah, and shout out to Lebanon. They tried to tell us in our DMs and everything that they were a lot better, and that they have proven to be a lot better. And it starts with what they've been able to do from a physical standpoint. They physically took it to Green Hill for 4 quarters and made Green Hill earn this. They dragged Green Hill to the deep end, and as I mentioned on our show on Wednesday, Green Hill's scheduling, I believe, is part of what allows them to win a game like this, because they've been in the deep end before this game. And that's a kudos to Coach Crouch and Green Hill. And also this Lebanon team, this is a type of game that proves Lebanon's going to be an extremely tough out down the line.
And they are young. So, I mean, they're doing very well right now. Next year, you watch out.
Yep. Keeps Green Hill unbeaten in region play. There is one nuclear scenario where they would not win the region, but that's too far down the road to even worry about. White House 35-14 over Liberty Creek. They're 4-4 and 2-0 region play now.
Yeah, this was a 14-14 game midway through the third quarter before the Blue Devils scored 21 unanswered points. Rucker Sample scored the opening touchdown. He also had the pick 6 that kind of iced the game at 28-14. But the big news, what we thought, that Jake Soporowski would have a big output on this game. He scored 3 touchdowns for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, one of them was 7 seconds left to go in the game. Yeah, probably. But that's just beside the point. It's kind of what we thought here. White House has been able to find some things offensively over the last few weeks, and Liberty Creek continues to. They've been able to do more on the offensive side of the ball than, say, like a Franklin, but they still continue to not be able to get into the 20s to be able to beat Gordonsville, the 27-14 type game, to beat White House here in what should have been a 28-14 type game. So, and that's signs of a young team too.
Yeah.
Lipscomb Academy goes out west and comes back with a 27-24 win over Christian Brothers.
Yeah, Christian Brothers made a run at it in the second half. I think the game was 20-10 at halftime in favor for Lipscomb, and was able to hold on for a big region win. And yes, they're 3-5, but they're 3-0 in the region. So that's exactly where you want to be if you're Coach Graham and the Mustangs.
Mm-hmm. And Bloomington,
yeah, good
night.
Yeah, he did. He returned punt for a touchdown, had 4 catches for 87 and a touchdown. J.C. White, 13-20 for 202 and 2 touchdowns.
Macon County goes out of state to Glasgow, Kentucky. They beat Barron County 29-14. Tigers now 6-2, but they have a major region game looming next week, Livingston Academy.
Yeah, got to have it next week. That's a win and you're in type of game. Good result here for them against the Barron County team that has played some teams up in the Bowling Green and Kentucky area pretty well. So big win for the Tigers.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead, Scott. You're good.
8.6 yards on first down and 10.1 yards on second down for the Tigers in this game. They won the turnover battle, something they struggled with in the last couple of weeks. Matthew Willie, 5 of 8 for 95 and a touchdown passing, 150 yards and a touchdown rushing, and Brendan Flowers, 115 yards and 2 scores. As the Tigers racked up 373 rushing yards in this game.
All right, real quick, more about our fine sponsors at AccuWorks. When disaster strikes your home or office, you need the experts at AccuWorks to get your property back on its feet fast. Jeff Stockton and his team of industry veterans are experienced in restoration of your home or place of work due to water or storm damage, fire and smoke damage, or mold contamination. AccuWorks performs emergency service and restoration for property owners across Middle Tennessee. With locations in Nashville and across Middle Tennessee, our professional staff are minutes away from helping with your property damage emergency. Call Jeff Stockton and his AccuWorks team today at 615-292-2009 or toll free at 888-779-2228. All right, on with the scores. Mount Juliet 30-0 winners over Wilson Central, and the Golden Bears don't look now, but they are in position to possibly make the playoffs.
Huge win. And this keeps our 17-year win streak over the Wildcats, I believe. Is what I understand, alive.
2008.
Tremendous show. The only scoring in the first half was a stripping score by Joshua Kidd and a Tate Merbitz field goal. Merbitz came up huge in this game. He added a 30-yard field goal. It was 13-0 at the half. Defense added a score again when Carson Jakowski returned a fumble 23 yards. Chaz Martin did not play due to the injury he had in the Lebanon game, and it just kind of stunted the offense. The Bears held them to 46 yards rushing and only 4 first downs.
Wilson Central falls to 0-3 in region play. Mount Juliet, a key win for them. Now they have a Cookeville team next week that they can win, and basically a win-it-in game for them.
Yep. Don't count out Trey Perry's guys.
MTCS wins at Tipton Rosemark 35-28 to improve to 5-2.
Yeah, good win for the Cougars.
Yeah, Jackson Posey broke a 28-all tie with a 45-yard pick six midway through the fourth quarter. Cooper Jones, 19 tackles, and Ali Bangura, 128 yards rushing and a score.
Not sure if you've ever seen a state championship rematch go so one-sided in the rematch. 70-0 Nashville Christian over Columbia Academy. This was the D2 single A title game last year. Columbia Academy moved up to double A, but you wouldn't know it by this result.
No, they lost a lot. I mean, not overly shocked. I know Jared Curtis went off, but Columbia Academy, I mean, last year was their shot. And unfortunately, they ran into Nashville Christian, and last night they ran into Jared Curtis, who apparently is back healthy.
Yeah, well, he only had one carry last night, so they're keeping him. Trying to keep him upright. But yeah, he was 15 of 21 for 238, 6 touchdowns. T.J. Ward, 10 carries, 114 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, domination by the Eagles here.
Oakland shuts out Laverne 56-0. Patriots 8-0. Rinse and repeat for them.
Huge night for Chevy Armour.
Water's wet.
Chevy Armour had a 13-yard pick six and a 12-yard blocked punt return. I was never really in doubt. It was 35-0 after the first quarter. Held the Wolverines to 50 total net yards, 1 for 8 on third down conversions. Justice Haggard still getting it done, 2 short TD runs, and Joel Wyatt had returned a fumble for a score.
Providence Christian takes care of Providence Academy at home 49-14. The Lions, the ones in Murfreesboro, now 49-14. Winners 6-2 overall, 2-0 region play.
Yeah, big win for PCA. That pretty much sets up. I think they have one more region game next week before the Week 11 game. But thinking Week 11 they play MTCS, and that will probably be for the East Region Championship.
Ravenwood goes to Shelbyville and wins 45-14. The Raptors, they're unbeaten as well.
Yeah, my understanding is that I think between Femi Babalola and Maverick Chance, they had 4 scores. just Ravenwood does what it's been doing, shutting people down and scoring big.
Yeah, what they've been doing exactly, and it seems like if you're an opponent, if Ravenwood plays a somewhat close game, and you play them the next week, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean that's what they've been doing to people.
taking
Yeah.
it personally.
Yeah, Riverdale 37-0 winners over Siegel. The Warriors 6-2 overall.
Yeah, Gavin Hampton had 5 touchdown passes in this game. Aiden Emmons, a touchdown reception, interception, and a sack. Corbin Reynolds, 2 touchdown receptions. Riverdale just dominating, setting up an interesting game next week.
Yeah, they'll go to Rockville next week. They can't overlook the Rockets because the Oakland does loom in week 11, but the Warriors have to take care of business first to get to that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of taking care of business, Blackman did that with Smyrna 35-7. The Blaze 7-1.
That eliminates Smyrna from playoff contention, no?
Not entirely, but it's a lot of math involved.
They have to win. Yes, they have to win both of their games left, and I believe it is Laverne and Stewart's Creek. I believe
it is, and then Rockville would have to lose out, and then actually Siegel would have to get involved somehow too.
Yes, so that would form the 3-way tie that we were talking about off air.
Mm-hmm.
If that happened, if all teams finish 5-5, 3-4 in the region, that would go through I think it's the 3rd or 4th tiebreaker. Rockville would still get in.
You ever seen that meme with John C. Riley where you have all the math floating across his face? That's where I'm at with that.
And actually, in that situation, Siegel could still win one of its last 2 games and give Smyrna enough to get in on a head-to-head tiebreaker.
Wow. Yeah, Javion Elliott, 5 of 7 for 179 and 3 touchdowns. That's right. He completed 5 passes and 3 of them were for scores. Jabari Kemp had 2 touchdown runs, and Rylan Odor, 2 receptions for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Blackman, in my understanding, is that Blackman's defense was just massive in this game, controlling the line of scrimmage.
I mean, that's kind of what they've been all year. They've only given up 75 points in 8 games. I mean, that defense has been impressive so far.
Yep.
Their last 2 games were against Siegel and Rockville. Yeah. Probably the game of the night over in Hendersonville. The Commandos win it in overtime, 37-36. Almost won it in regulation. They scored the final play of regulation, but Station Camp blocks the extra point to force the extra session, and the Commandos get it done by stopping a Station Camp 2-point attempt in overtime.
Everybody just shaking their head. James Beasley, he's a very, very good coach, and he finds a way to. His teams usually find a way to get it done and get in the mix, and but I don't understand the Station Camp was this now 5 losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That they score points, but they just seem snake bit with mistakes and
getting stops.
Yeah,
they have to get stops at key points in the game, and unfortunately, they've not been able to do so far. Big win for Hendersonville here. I believe they have a big one coming up with Beach here in a couple weeks, but I think it's next week. No, it's the week after next. It's week 11.
Yeah, it's week 11. Tate Rumney, the sophomore for Hendersonville, 39 carries, 305 yards rushing at a touchdown. Massive night for them. Massive night for him in that win. Speaking of wins, Summit got on 35-21 over Coffee County. The Spartans now 2-6.
Yeah, Davis Smith, 5 of 6 passing, 126, 2 touchdowns. Also had 10 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Summit gets that region win, and Spartans are. I think they're pretty much in it, right, Chris?
No, they're still alive. They'd have to beat Independence week 11, but they still have. Summit may need to win out depending on what happens with that Indy Brentwood game next week in order to get in. All right, Cam, you cheers. Trousdale County 35, Monterey 14. I know you're happy about that one.
Yeah, I guess.
Dang, Cam, what do you want?
Even a broken
Our goals are not to be 2-7 and be out of the playoffs. So we move
even a
on.
broken clock is right twice a day. So
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute now. I have to say that Miss Harper was correct. She came on she came in the comments last week and told us that these Trousdale County Yellow Jackets were good and they're gonna win some games, and lo and behold, the next week they did. So I'm gonna give her props.
One note on this one: Noah Harper did go down in the second quarter, did not return. So hope he's okay.
Oh, great. Sorry, I didn't.
who jinx it, Scott?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it happened before I said anything. Okay.
we might want to move on before you say something else. Rockville 39, Tullahoma 38 in overtime. The Rockets get to 4-4 with that win. A big win for them.
Yeah, huge. This is one they had to have. They had to have it to potentially force that big log jam of a tiebreaker that we were just talking about. But I was actually watching this one on my phone while I was waiting to get out of traffic at Nolansville, and Rockville came. I think they were down 24-3 or 24-7 or something like that, and they came all the way back to force overtime. Tullahoma gets the ball first in overtime. They score on 2 plays. Rockville scores on the first play by a crazy run by the Chia kid, and they elect to go for 2. And Hamby just makes an unbelievable play. He's got a dude right in his face, and he stiff arms him to the ground. And as he's falling backwards, he chucks it in the back corner. And yeah, I needed it, and that's another game up on Joe. So, way to go, Rockets!
I'm not the one you should be worrying about right now.
I've said it 100 times. Anybody but you, buddy.
Jonathan Hamby for Rockville is 18 of 26 for 317 and 5 touchdowns. RC Chia, 8 receptions for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then Dallas Paldo, 5 receptions, 103 yards, a touchdown, and he's the one who caught the 2-point conversion in overtime that put the Rockets out there in front.
Watertown gets a win over Cascade, 27-9. Purple Tigers, 5-3 overall, 3-1 in Region 4-3A.
Good win for the Fighting Isaacs.
Cannon County 50-27 over Warren County. The Lions are 6-3. This was kind of a weird finish to this game. The lights went out at Cannon County with about 6 minutes to go, so they had a delay there. But after that, I think they just put 10 more points after the final 5 minutes to pull away from Warren County.
If this is correct, this game was 13-12 Warren County at the end of the third quarter. And then it's 34-27 at the 6:21 mark of the fourth. If that's correct, Jaden Shannon with a monster night, 29 carries, 334 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Oh, and he had a pick. His fourth quarter run is, you look at that, it's just a thing of beauty. Breaking tackles, dragging defender into the end zone. Eli Garrett surpassed 2,000 yards on the season. He threw for 3 scores.
Westmoreland gets a 27-13 win at Stratford to improve to 500 overall. They're 1-1 in Region Blood.
It's another game where I picked a team and they let me down. So you're dead to me.
So it's not that you were wrong. It's that.
Yeah, no, I'm never wrong. Teams let me down. Thought we established this a while ago.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, this is a Westmoreland team. You know, they have a couple head-scratching losses, not necessarily that they're losses, but in the fashion that they lost. You know, the Gordonsville game comes out and it's 41-0. You're kind of like, wow, didn't see that coming. Yeah. And then you look and they've got a couple decent wins. They took Whites Creek to double OT. Whites Creek's lost 2 region games since then. I believe, has Stratford already played Whites Creek? No. So
that's next week.
That is a win and end game for both of those teams. So the loser is probably eliminated. So,
yeah. And Westmoreland still has a shot at the region title because they have Maplewood and White House Heritage still to play.
Correct.
Final score for us: Cizo Harding 40-17 over Zion Christian. The Eagles with 5-3, but that win.
Yeah, great night for Juju Murdoch. 6 of 8 for 262, 2 scores. Brady McGuire caught 2 balls for 119 yards in the score. Terrace Smith, the Zion Christian kind of corralled him. He rushed for 70 yards and a score, but he also added 7 tackles, 4 tackles for loss.
Yeah, Eagles 5-3, but a good win for them, and that's going to do it for all our scores for this week. A little bit shorter week because there's still quite a few teams on fall break. We get a full slate next week, the next 2 weeks to close out the regular season. All right, guys. Final words before we get out of here.
I'm ready for a better week, admittedly. Like, I don't know. I feel like the last 2 weeks, like we had Antioch and FRA last week, and they were great games. But I don't know. We need more. We need better games. Had way too many
Chris,
games.
Hey, that's great news. Teresa Harper just chimed in. Thank you, Chris. That's great news. That's great news.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's all I got for this week. Let's get out of here and enjoy some more football and come back Wednesday night.
Cam, Joe, just y'all go out and get some sunshine. You guys are depressing me.
Oh, I'm good.
Got a big game I'm focused on today. I don't really.
You've got a big game you're focused on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's an elimination game, Cam. We done. We lose. We're out of the playoff.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be an elimination game if you were actually in a conference.
It would be, but go off, King. Roll Tide. Can't wait to watch. Can't wait to watch Tide just light them up. God, it's gonna be so good.
Boy, Joe's going 100% heel for our audience, except for the Vandy audience.
I bet LSU. So,
well, why don't you just go scorched earth all over our area, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what happens when you mess with little brother. Big brother's got to come take care of business.
Yeah. That's all I got. I'm done. Let's get out of here and watch some football, guys. Come back Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, 615 Preps Live, presented by AccuWorks. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning for the Scoreboard Show, also presented by the fine folks at AccuWorks. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.